All right, so here we go. Y'all remember a few years ago we had the Marvels drop in theaters, right? and the Marvels was probably the most predictive flop in Hollywood history. Like the instant people that saw it, like as far as the trailer, they knew, oh yeah, this is gonna flop. You know what I'm saying? Like it just was what it was, and part of the reason why it flopped is because one, regardless of whether you think why people don't like her. People just don't like Brie Larson. Okay, they don't like her. They don't like Captain Marvel. So you take an actor that people don't like and a character that people don't like. You put them together, give them their own movie. Manufacture $1 billion and thought the sequel was gonna hit. Yeah, nah. Keep in mind, people don't like Mrs. Marvel. They don't like that character. However, she's a little bit more popular than Captain Marvel right now. And then Imama, I forgot her name. Iman, the chick that's playing Mrs. Marvel, she's actually not quite that bad. And then you have what's her name? Tatiana. Her character, what's the girl's name? Fucking, I don't know. Monica Rambeau. Like she's okay, but nobody cares about the character like that. And her most notable thing was telling Wanda, they'll never know what you sacrificed for her. Either way, the point is the movie flopped. And the movie was written and directed by a woman by the name of Nia DaCosta. Now, Nia DaCosta, for whatever reason, got this job despite her only claim to fame is a terrible remake of Candyman, an absolutely abhorrent remake of Candyman, okay? That was her movie. Somehow, some way, she got up to the big leagues and did a Marvel movie, okay? Well, now she has some things to say about the Marvels, all right? Here we go. Nia DaCosta somehow, some way, is getting the opportunity to direct 28 years later. Let me take this and put it over here because I can't see myself. You know what I'm saying? I really can't see myself. Okay. So she is doing 28 years later, and this is what she has to say about the script. Nia DaCosta says her 28 years later sequel has something the Marvels didn't: a really solid script. Lord have mercy. Now, if you don't know, Nia DaCosta is actually one of the writers, if not the writer of the script. Disney needed someone to blame for the Marvels, the MCU's most disastrous outing to date, and Nia DaCosta became the easy target. Right after the film cratered on opening weekend, the studio conveniently leaked stories about her inexperience and supposed on-set detachment. Classic scapegoating. Now, 2 years later, I'm sorry, DaCosta, speaking at the Edinburgh Film Festival, took a swipe back, comparing her wonderful experience shooting the upcoming 28 years later, The Bone Temple, to her other films. One of the issues I had with Candyman and the Marvels was the lack of a really solid script, which is always going to just wreak havoc on the whole process. She's been consistent in saying that the version of the Marvels audiences saw was not the movie she pitched or shot. It was interesting because there was a certain point when I was like, okay, this isn't going to be the movie I pitched or even the first version of the movie that I shot. It's hard to argue with her. The Marvels will forever be remembered as one of the MCU's biggest bombs, burning an estimate 300 million in losses. A film dragged down by endless rewrites and reshoots, a bizarre fate given that 2019's Captain Marvel cleared 1 billion with ease. That is not bizarre at all, and I'll explain that in a moment. DaCosta has already moved on. Her Tessa Thompson Imogen Poots starred Hita, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean, recently wrapped 28 years later. The Bone Temple. Early test screenings on Bone Temple have been very strong, with DaCosta calling it one of her best filmmaking experiences. Making the 28 years sequel was one of the best filmmaking experiences I've had. Alex Garland hands you a script, and you're like, this is amazing. You don't really have to change it, although I did. I basically asked for more infected laughs. That was like my big contribution. And so, first of all, before we even get into any of the commentary, let's see the Marvel's writers. Okay. The screenplay for the Marvels was written by Nia DaCosta, Megan McDonald, and Alyssa Karasik. Okay. So she obviously wrote it. Now, to address some of her criticisms, in that she says that it wasn't the movie she pitched or even the movie that she had shot. As much as I want to grift, I kind of believe her on that. I do. Not saying that what she would have pitched would have been, I mean, what she would have did was so much better, or would have been so much better. All I'm saying is what we actually got probably wasn't what she wanted in it. We know Marvel does all of these reshoots. They're endlessly changing the script throughout it's ridiculous. Although I will say this though, to be honest with you, the Marvels was doomed from the start. It didn't matter how good the script was going to be. There was nothing that was going to save this film. This movie flopped before it ever hit the box office. And so that's why I don't really, while her criticism of Marvel may be valid, I don't really care. Because the movie flopped before it ever, nobody liked Brie Larson. So for those of you who don't know, what the reason why Brie Larson is disliked.
And one more question. What does it mean to be a woman in film?
It means it's really hard. And if you're a woman of color, then it's really, really hard.
Let's hold on. Let me skip ahead now. Here we go.
Inclusive Initiative released findings that 67% of the top critics reviewing the 100 highest grossing movies in 2017 were white males. Less than a quarter were white women, and less than 10% were unrepresented men. Only 2.5% of those top critics were women of color. So you're probably thinking right now, like, wow, that super doesn't represent the country that I live in, and that's because that's true. This is a huge disconnect from the U.S. population breakdown of 30% white men, 30% white women, 20% men of color, and 20% women of color. On top of all of this, am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is that if you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color, there is an insanely low chance a woman of color will have the chance to see your movie and review your movie. Other people besides white dudes like Star Wars and would love the opportunity to do a set visit. And I'm also saying I don't hate white dudes. I'm just saying we need to be conscious of our bias and do our part to make sure that everyone is in the room. Good reviews out of festivals give small independent films a fighting chance to be bought and seen. Good reviews help films gross money. Good reviews slingshot films into awards contenders. A good review can change your life. It changed mine. We are expanding to make films that better reflect the people that buy movie tickets, but they are not allowed enough chances to read public discourse on these films by the people that these films were made for. I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what that film meant to women of color, to biracial.
So there you go. There you have it. That's what she said. That's the reason why people don't like Brie Larson. So I get what she was trying to say. And while maybe well-intentioned, that was not the way to do it. I'm sorry. You just, okay, cool. Then my response to you is, why don't you go into some communities where there's people of color and ask them why the fuck they don't review movies? I'm sorry. I mean, if you look around, everybody want to be a streamer now. Everybody want to be a content creator. Ask a nigga to review a movie. That's what we do over here. Review a movie, review a game. And then ask them why they don't go out and buy it. Huh? Ask them why they always fucking pirating shit. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help. You can get as many people of color to review movies if you want to, but if you make movies for people of color, whether it's Hispanic, Black, Asian, whatever, and they pirate all the shit, well, fuck it. So, whatever. That's why, as far as DaCosta goes, like I said, the movie was doomed before your script was even written. So, it doesn't really matter. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. As always, may the grip be with you. I'll talk to y'all later.
Oh, fuck you, fuck you.